If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
Welcome to the SAP ADM328 SAP S4HANA Conversion training. So the first module is S4HANA Conversion Fundamentals and Tools. It's the disclaimer. This presentation includes images and all from the open source, and we have put a lot of effort to prepare this content, and you can appreciate the quality of the content once you go through all these sessions. So please do not try to share or give it to anybody else outside of these people, whoever has enrolled for this course, because it's very important and it's a property of ZaranTech. Okay. So agenda for today. So we're going to discuss about the history of SAP, SAP S4HANA architecture and components, and how SAP S4HANA evolved. I mean, it's also a part of history of SAP, and concept of upgrade S4HANA conversion and system conversion overview. Okay. So this is the agenda for today, and this is covered in the two modules, module 1 and then module 2. And after that, we do system exercise, which means we will start building the systems needed for this course. Okay. So history of SAP, we don't spend too much time, but it's important that you have this understanding of how SAP has evolved today. We just spent 5 minutes so that you know a full clear picture of the product line, what SAP has done. So 1972, 5 ex-IBMers, Dietmar Haupt is the one who is still alive. They have developed a financial product for IBM. Okay, but somehow the project didn't go through, and IBM had to shut down that project. So these 5 German guys, so they said, okay, fine, if you don't want this project, please, give it to us, and we do patent by ourselves, and we'll start it. Then IBM agreed, and they came out of IBM, and they started a company called SAP. Okay, so it is like system analysis in data processing. In the initial days they used to call. So now it is systems, applications, and products. That is the current name. What is the full form of SAP? Systems, applications, and products. Current now. Well, they started in 1972. So initially they had few customers. In 1973, the first version, SAP R1. So do you know what is this R and what is this 1? Anybody? Guess, am I audible?
Yes, very much. You are.
Yeah, good. That's why let me keep asking. So does anyone know what is R and what is this 1 stands for? See, we might have heard 10 years back, whoever worked in SAP, SAP R1, SAP R2, SAP R3. Okay. So what were those terminologies? Well, yeah, if you don't know, simple. So try to understand. So R stands for real time, and then 1 stands for the single tier architecture or the 1 tier architecture. You might have heard the words, a 1 tier architecture, 2 tier architecture, and 3 tier architecture. Okay, that is where I'm going now. So they came up with a simple product, SAP R1. So where SAP presentation layer, which is SAP GUI, where the end users access, and application layer, CIR, PAS, and DB, all of them are together in one layer. Okay. So this went very well. I mean, initially they started with financials only, not logistics or anything else. Only financials to take care of the ledgers and stuff. So they did well. So they took around 1979, 6 years. So they thought that, okay, slowly they're expanding their business. So what they thought is, let's separate this application layer, presentation layer, SAP GUI separate, end users, how they log into the system, and then application layer and DB, you put it in one layer. So it's a 2 tier architecture. Okay. So 2 tier architecture, 1979, that they used to call it as SAP R2. I don't think anybody using SAP R2 now. So they're all phased out. In 1992, SAP came up with SAP R3. Okay. So this is one of the most real-time and 3-tier architecture. Even now, still today, we are having this architecture, but the product names and things are different. Even if you see your applications and everything, any product, any SAP product, all of them are in this architecture, which is presentation layer is separate, because each one of you from your laptops, right, you can access the SAP system. That's the presentation layer. And then the application layer, which means application servers or logic is separate. You have an application server, and where applications, PaaS, primary applications and secondary applications, those things will be running. And then the database layer, They have separated. So the logic has been segregated. I mean, I don't mean to say that primary applications, sorry, CA and DB on the same host. They can be on the same host, but the logic has been segregated. So application logic and the DB logic has been segregated, but both of them can be on the same host. Okay. So this architecture, they came up in 1992, and that's the era of digitalization. I mean, that is when we call it as the revolution of digitalization has started. But in 2005 and 2006, it has picked up to drastically. But that was the starting point. So right time, right company, like Paytm during the demonetization, how it was ready and it has picked the pace, right? Similar way. So most of the companies are struggling with their enterprise managements in terms of the financial, logistics, material management, or oil and gas. So many of them are struggling how to integrate these functional areas and how to make it automate or how to make it digitalize. Such a big organization, they are struggling. They are using Excels or simple softwares and all, but still they could not able to do that level. But SAP has come up with this kind of simple solution, not a simple, very good solution that has been a very well perceived by the market. And initially they started with financials, then logistics, then material management. Slowly they have gone. So this R3 architecture was successful at that time. So once R3 is successful, they took around 2004, 12 years. SAP was doing very well in 1992 to 2004 with the SAP R3. In 2004, they have came up with SAP ERP, okay, on NetWeaver platform. So SAP Business One is for it's a ERP with a small scale industries that we don't focus too much. I mean, but shops, small shops or one shopping mall can use such small software. It's for small scale industries. But SAP ERP for the enterprise resource planning, okay? So for the big industries, okay, and on NetWeaver platform. So we can say 2004 is the big breakthrough for SAP because all of a sudden they have opened at a massive scale. You see, SAP ERP is much more capable of what SAP R3, R2 and R1 were able to do. So what were the massive thing what they brought in 2004? ABAP plus Java. Okay, Java, the advantage of Java on NetWeaver. NetWeaver is a platform. You might have heard these platforms, right? NetWeaver platform, HANA platform, or SAP Cloud platform. See, HANA platform means HANA is not just a database, and it can do many more things. Data intelligence, connectivity, and integrations to the third-party applications. A lot of things. Platform is which can enable multiple things or multiple products or multiple things to run. Okay, so just understand the term platform. So NetWeaver is a platform. They came up with a concept of platform and they have introduced Java. So we know that many applications outside world, they run on Java. So the integration has happened to this NetWeaver, which means SAP has opened its portfolio for multiple applications where they can integrate and then do their, use SAP as a backend system and do the functions. So that is when 2004 NetWeaver, it's a huge success, SAP, and they came up with only one product, which is ERP, okay, Enterprise Resource Planning. And in 2004, 2005, 1 year after that, SAP has started, we don't want to give any product line, I mean ERP and other versions. What they did is, we want to stick to this ERP. 6.0 was the version released and they want to stick to it. They don't want to go ERP 7.0, ERP 8.0. I mean, you don't see it also now. So what they did is, they decided is, okay, let's stabilize this version. Let's not go with any other versions. So if there are any enhancements, we release as an EHPs, enhancement releases. So EHP 1, EHP 2, the current version is EHP 8. In the slide, you can see EHP 7. The current version is EHP 8, what we have in the market. ERP 6.0, EHP 8 is the latest version. Okay. Now, good. SAP was doing very well. 2006, again, they came up with SAP Business All-in-One on top of mid-size industries. That's all right. But again, the breakthrough 2005, after 2005, 2009, after 4 years. So SAP came up with this SAP Business Suite. Okay. SAP Business Suite, instead of ERP, they call it as a Business Suite on NetWeaver platform. Okay. When I say Business Suite, it is combination of ERP, SRM, CRM, PLM, SCM. So which means they have packaged all these things in one particular product, and they put it as an SAP Business Suite 7. Okay. So that they have introduced 2009. Very good. until this point, 2009 also it went very well for market has pursued it very nicely. But here these ERP or SRM or SCM systems, all of them are any DB. So as I said, SAP. Okay, am I audible, guys? Just want to verify.
Yes.
Hello? Okay,
Yes.
good. So SAP came up with this business suite with the concept of any database. Okay, because SAP always operate this perspective, win-win situation. I mean, they open for all partners have a scope to make a business or run it. So they have come up with all DBs. DB2 they have opened, Oracle they have opened, and Sybase was not in 2009. Sybase was not into SAP, but yes. So Microsoft SQL DB, Windows servers, that is also open. So SAP has opened completely for all databases. It's a customer's choice. Whichever database they want, they can do it. SAP has opened for all of them. So then 2011, the problem has started. Okay, 2009 fine, 2009, 10 in 2 years. So there is a problem with one particular because any DB, any database. So they have a problem with one particular database vendor, which is Oracle. Okay, so what it is important to understand, guys, please don't think the other way. It is very important to understand why this kind of innovation has happened and what SAP is today. So 2009, SAP has Oracle has realized it. Okay, so SAP is running on my database. So Oracle thought that I can take over the entire SAP ERP thing because it's just an application or it's just a software on top of my database, right? So database is the strong suit for anybody. For example, banking you take. Database is the most thing. So if they are using the old version of the database, if you go and tell them that I want to upgrade, they will say that no. As long as this database is running, I will do it, because they're very hesitant, because it's a very crucial financial data for every company. So the database is the most important. So Oracle thought, I can take over SAP and, I can be a complete thing. I mean, I can have the SAP and DB on. So Oracle thought perceiving in the direction of taking over SAP. Okay. So that has caused a conflict between SAP and Oracle. In 2010, I can say 2009 and 2010, Oracle has started, but SAP was, hesitant, but SAP in a big problem now. What is the big problem? SAP is, as a software, it is very good, but they don't have a database. So they have to rely on DB2, which is IBM. They have to rely on Sybase. At that time, Sybase was different. They have to rely on this Oracle, Microsoft SQL. So Microsoft. So all of them are big player, and in the market, right? Everybody, when you are a company, so Microsoft SQL Server, Microsoft is also trying like Oracle, right? Oracle and Microsoft were very strong at that time. So like these vultures, everybody thought of taking over SAP because this product is doing. So everybody in that focus. But SAP, what they did is, no. First thing, if I have to survive, I have to have my own database. Okay. I have my own database. That's the most important thing because the data on top, what SAP is dealing with is a very critical data, and they want to have a trustworthy database for themselves. No matter whichever vendor you go, there is a problem. Okay. There is a problem, whomever vendor you go. So that vendor may think of, taking over the complete portfolio and stuff. There is a problem. So what SAP thought is, okay, I have to come up with my own database. And in 2011, so SAP has come up with HANA. And the sole objective is to put a check to the Oracle, and they don't want Oracle to drive and compete with SAP just like this and take over this. Oracle also has a competitive PeopleSoft software ERP product. So to put that and to solve that business problem, SAP has introduced HANA. So we will talk about what is this HANA and stuff at later point in time briefly. But this is the whole motive behind coming up with a own database. And it's also not the problem. So, and then there is one more problem. As you know, Java is owned by which company currently? Anybody aware? Java. Who owns Java now? Oracle. Yes. So Oracle, what they thought is in 2009, whenever they are trying to take over, yes, SAP has solved the problem of database coming up with the HANA. So again, one more problem. SAP had put its entire business and they have opened a NetWeaver platform. So it integrates very well with Java, right? To open the entire ecosystem, to integrate, they have come up with Java. So now what Oracle did, they have acquired Java. You got it? So they have acquired Java and they start charging too much of license fees to SAP. Okay, so instead of directly competing with ERP, because PeopleSoft was not doing well, and what Oracle did is they started acquiring all these integrated or Java and other things and started putting lot of license charges to SAP. Yes. So how SAP has addressed that problem? I mean Java. Anybody? What is the replacement of Java in SAP now? Have you heard of this SAP Fiori?
Yes, Fury.
Yes. So why Java is used in SAP products mostly? To develop that service marketplace, web applications. You know, if I have to put it, web applications or user interface. Earlier SAP marketplace, if you would have seen, or the SAP documentation, help.sap.com, if you would have seen, it would be completely different because that was developed on Java. Now you see every SAP thing is on Fiori. It's an UI5 related, user interface. UI5 is a technology. It's a HTML based technology. So, it is just to checkmate the Java. They don't want to use the Java, and the whole thing has been moved to the SAP Fiori. We'll check it in the SAP S4HANA. Okay. So now, 2011, to address the issue of database, they came up with a HANA, and anybody knows what is the full form of HANA?
High availability and something.
So yeah, you call it as a high performance analytics. Okay, high performance. So the term itself, it says it's an in-memory database, which means the RAM is very high for this HANA. And RAM, when I say in-memory, just think that it's a RAM basically. So HANA needs very high RAM, and the performance is much more better than the traditional databases. Okay, very good. So they came up with database, and in 2015, okay, the first version of SAP S4HANA came. Okay, so until now, what we have, SAP Business Suite we have with ERP, SRM, CRM, we have to call that way only. So there is no R3, there is no R2, or there is no ERP. So we have to call SAP Business Suite. They are all packaged basically. PLM, SCM and all. This suite is running fine. So in 2015, SAP has come up with SAP S4HANA. So that is the starting of S4HANA. So now what we are going to discuss, our course ADM328 is how to convert this business suite to this S4HANA. That is why I'm giving you this history, how to move it from there to here. That is our ADM328 course, how to convert this ERP to S4HANA. Okay, so SAP S4HANA, we will talk about the architecture and advantages and all. Anyone knows the full form of S4HANA? Anybody? What is the stand for S, and what does it stand for 4? Anyone? Okay. So, okay, good. So see, there is a word, right? SAP Business Suite 7, right? So here also SAP S4HANA means simplified suite for HANA. So it's a simplified suite for HANA. That's what is 4 stands for 4th generation. Okay. Don't, there's nothing. So it's just a 4th generation. So simplified suite for HANA is the full form of this one. And yes, how advantageous it is and how powerful it is, or why it cannot be just an upgrade of ERP. For example, SAP Business Suite we have, right? You may think that ERP 6.0 was the version and EHP 8 was the latest. Then why SAP did not proceeded with EHP 9 or EHP 10 or ERP 7.0? Why it didn't do? Why it had to go on a complete new code line? Okay, that we will discuss when we are talking about the SAP S4HANA. Okay, so why couldn't they just use the same business suite or the same ERP instead of going with a complete revamped or restructured full-fledged product? Okay, that we will discuss. So this is the brief history of what is SAP. How SAP has come up with. They have a lot of products, cloud, S4HANA Cloud, SC. Now you can see Ariba, SuccessFactors and all. Don't worry about it. All of them, if you take any big vendor like Microsoft, they have a hell lot of products, and in this process they would have acquired all of them because none of them are SAP products. Okay, you take Ariba, you take SuccessFactors. So Qualtrics, last year they purchased experience management. So whatever these things. So these are all like they purchased them, they acquired them, I would say. So, but this is the core architecture. I mean, this is the core product. What SAP has done means these are the ones. Okay. And then later Sybase they have acquired. Okay. I forgot to mention here. So in 2011, so you would say that, okay, sorry, good that we remember now. So in 2011, they came up with a HANA. But if you go with this HANA database at that time, 2011, so that's the only time, that's the time where the infrastructure also struggling. I mean, that time the infrastructure is not as cheap as today. And if you see the infrastructure innovations now, it is at next level. I will show you when we are demonstrating the system, how powerful this, I don't know, you guys working on cloud infrastructures or on-premise infrastructure?
Oh, it's on-premise and then
on-premise.
it's cloud as well, yeah.
Okay, on-premise and cloud as well. Then you would know the difference between on-premise and cloud. So cloud infrastructure, there's a complete revolution. You know, AWS has started that revolution in 2012. They are the first ones to come up with, there are earlier also cloud infrastructure providers, but AWS was one which has focused on the enterprise level. I mean, enterprise resources like big, massive scale infrastructures to host AWS. And then slowly this Microsoft and then Google came in last 3-4 years, they are picking up. I mean, not picking up. Microsoft Azure was doing very good last year. So the advantage with Microsoft is, you know, we all are using Windows laptops, right? We all are using Windows laptop. Already Microsoft has a customer base. So Microsoft can give huge discounts and then, you know, ask them to use Azure and all. But whatever, let them, their business strategy, let's keep it. So there's a huge revolution. Now the infrastructure costs are much cheaper compared to the earlier days. And also the level of automations, the level of innovation has happened in the infrastructure level is, you know, you can't believe. It's unbelievable. You can see in half an hour or 1 hour, you can build an SAP system. I will build and I will show you. Okay. Within 1 hour, your entire systems will be ready. So such level and automations, that kind of infrastructure innovations happen in the cloud infrastructure providers with the AWS and this one. I mean, I don't mean that AWS only. Infrastructure innovations means these are applicable for all these three, any cloud provider. So the concepts of AWS, the concepts of GCP, I mean infrastructure concepts of Microsoft, all of them are same. Okay. So don't think that all three is three. Anybody worked on all three infrastructures? AWS, GCP and Azure, guys?
Nope.
AWS, GCP, three-tier.
Okay, good. So whatever it is, so all three infrastructure has the same concepts. So you should not call it as an AWS innovation or GCP innovation. For example, Unix is the mother of all these Linux based or Unix flavored systems, right? Linux, SUSE, Solaris, and you know, IBM Unix is there, HP Unix is there. There are a lot of Linux flavors. So no matter Red Hat Linux is there. So all of them are mother is the Unix. Like that, infrastructure also there is a cloud open source platform. On top of it, these guys have developed these things. Okay. When I try to say infrastructure innovations, it does not mean that AWS or Google or anything. So it's an open source and the innovations happened over there were, you know, unbelievable. And what we are today in infrastructure wise, it's outstanding in terms of the automations or whatever. So, but in 2011, when SAP came up with the HANA, as I said, it's an in-memory. In-memory means you have a 250 GB database or a 1 TB database. You need to have RAM of 1 TB minimum. Okay. So then you go crazy and the customers will go mad. Oh God, I have to invest 1 TB of RAM is very expensive. So what SAP did in 2011, they acquired Sybase. Okay. Because it's also a row store based kind of database. Sybase is because they have to give an option. Either you go with the HANA or if you don't want to spend too much of money at that particular time, you go with my another database which is Sybase. So that is when SAP has acquired the Sybase database. So to provide an alternative instead of this Oracle or you know, Microsoft SQL Server DB or IBM DB2, so they have come up with Sybase and they have given the customers two options. So currently today, what all databases SAP operates? Currently today. Anyone knows? So except Oracle, SAP is still open for all databases. Okay. So and then SAP also has its own database. Can anyone name one more database? Oracle is one database. That's fine. It's not SAP's. So that they want to phase out completely. Now they are not even supporting it. And then we have IBM DB2. Still there are some customers and still SAP is supporting it because IBM doesn't want to get into any of this ERP software.
Max DB is there.
Yes, MaxDB is there. MaxDB also SAP's own software. And then Sybase. Sybase is SAP's own database. So currently SAP and Microsoft SQL Server DB, it is there, but again SAP is still supporting, even because Microsoft is still has that tie-up. So three databases SAP has their own. One is MaxDB, and other one is Sybase. The other one is SAP HANA. So the customer has a choice of, if you want to go with the traditional database like Oracle, you go with Sybase or MaxDB, or if you want to go with or you go with any vendor, IBM DB2 or Microsoft SQL Server DB. But with the if you want to go with the HANA, go with the HANA database. So SAP has given three options for the customers. So now most of the focus is on HANA. So rest all like our, irrelevant for us. Good. So SAP S4HANA architecture and components. Good. So now you have understood the evolution of SAP from SAP R1 to SAP S4HANA, how they have evolved. So good. So it is important. Let's try to compare. What is SAP Business Suite, the left side diagram, follow my mouse, and SAP S4HANA, what it contains, how it is different. So SAP Business Suite, as I said, it's a package of SAP CRM, SAP SRM, ERP, SCM, and PLM. Okay. So and if you look into the SAP ERP, so we know that SAP PI and SAP ECC, ERP central component. Actually, if you say SAP ECC is the upgradable component. When we upgrade SAP ECC. We don't upgrade SAP ERP. Okay. So it's component. Technicality wise, I'm talking. Okay. So ERP has this, SAP BW, SAP ECC. These are the components they have it. Now SAP S4HANA. So here, as I said, what is the full form? Simplified suite. This is also a suite. It is not like a business suite. It is also a suite. So it also comes with, a SAP S4HANA server. Like you see here, there is a mapping, right? SAP ECC is the ERP central component. So SAP S4HANA is not a component, guys. It's not an upgradable version. SAP, it's, we will get confused or we use this terminology. When you say SAP S4HANA upgrade, you actually upgrade the SAP S4HANA server. Within that. Okay. So not the SAP S4HANA. It's a product name, like SAP Business Suite, right? It's a product name, SAP S4HANA product name. So when we say, SAP S4HANA server is getting upgraded. And when I say ERP upgrade, what does that mean? ERP upgrade doesn't, you see, left side diagram. ERP upgrade doesn't mean that I will go and upgrade this ERP. What actually get upgraded? ECC. SAP ECC ERP central component is the one which gets upgraded. Okay. So this is the actual component which gets upgraded technically. So why I am stressing is, I want to create a clear cut definition, because we are doing a conversion, right? Conversion using a sum tool. Okay. So which means we should understand what exactly is getting upgraded. Okay. And you should know the differentiation between the product name and the actual technical component name. That is why I'm trying to stress this out. So when you say ERP upgrade, actually ERP central component is the one which gets upgraded. When you say SAP S4HANA upgrade 1511 or 1610 or whatever the version you want, the actual component what it gets upgraded is SAP S4HANA server. Okay. And what are the other components you have in SAP S4HANA? SAP Fiori, we will talk about it. And then SAP BW for HANA. Okay. So these are the components which are part of this simplified suite for HANA. Okay. Okay. Now you understand the difference. So the suite, this is the product name SAP S4HANA. Within that you have SAP S4HANA server, and within and SAP Fiori and SAP BW for HANA. Okay. So when we say upgradable version, these are the upgradable components in between, what not the entire product line, but we keep calling, synonymously we call them, but you know the difference. Okay. Good. The most important thing, before we go, it's important to understand the capabilities of SAP S4HANA, or how good it is, or the advantages, or a high level stack architecture. That's very important for us to understand. Then, because even though, see, when we do these pre-checks and then during the conversion and the post steps also, we do embedded analytics, and you should know why you are doing, and the theory configurations and all, we should know, I mean, why they are there and how, then only when you understand this architecture, then only you will appreciate those things what you are doing. Okay, so when you say the high level architecture, so we have, I'm talking about SAP S4HANA on-premise edition. So there is S4HANA cloud edition also. Don't get confused. Always focus on this SAP S4HANA on-premise edition. Okay. So we have a UI layer, I mean user interface layer. So which is SAP Fiori. Okay, the top yellow color. Okay, SAP Fiori apps, design studio analysis app or research, whatever it is. So the Fiori is nothing but the UI. For example, what is the UI for our SAP systems ERP? SAP GUI, right? SAP GUI or Web UI. You know, sometimes it's all SAP GUI related only, Web UI, Web GUI we call. So now, as I said, SAP do not want to invest in the Java, so they have developed their complete Fiori. We will see also, we will launch the Fiori Launchpad, and then we will see the tiles and stuff. It is nothing but, for now, just know that it's an user interface platform. Okay, how you interact with the system. Or let's talk about the UI layer first, the responsive design. So this yellow layer, so yellow line you see here, right side, I'm putting my mouse. So SAP Fiori as user experience paradigm across applications. So they want to make all the applications use the SAP Fiori, and that is a simple or one UI. I mean, wherever you look into, you have to feel that it's an SAP Fiori. Okay. See, earlier the problem was what SAP was having is what because I'm stressing out this across applications. Why they have to come up with SAP Fiori as a user experience? Yes, they want to get rid of Java. Earlier, the biggest pain point for SAP is customers complaining is, if I log into the SAP GUI, I can see a different screen. If I log into a web GUI, I see a different screen. If I log into the service marketplace, I feel different. You getting the point, right? SAP, or if you go to the SAP community, I see the blog in a different format. So the customers are facing, SAP, what is this? I mean, I'm going to your portals, or I'm going to your sites, or if they open SAP Note, let's take an SAP Note, they see a different UI. You're getting the point, right? So each of those things are developed in the different UI platform. You know, for example, SAP Notes, what you open, right? Service marketplace, he did it in Java. And within that Java also, one fellow uses one kind of template and another guy uses another kind of template, these developers. And then SAP Notes are the download softwares. You know, download basket, you download, right? Maintenance planner. Maintenance planner also used to have a different kind of UI. I think those who of you, I don't know if anyone of you more than 10 years, who have worked 5-6 years back, you know this pain. Anybody worked on such kind of different UIs, guys?
Yes, when marketplace was on Java, the download basket thing, and you need to download one Java exe file to download from there.
Yes. So now you're trying to connect it, right? What I'm trying to say. If you go to each of these SAP applications, different applications, or the different sites, you would have frustrated, right? Different user interfaces, right? So you would have seen that, okay, this user interface is this, and this is this. So that is what SAP, what they did is with Fiori, they have told their entire departments, you know, whoever is using whatever it is, every application has to follow these guidelines, SAP Fiori, as a user experience across applications, which means whichever SAP site you go, or you use maintenance planner, or you use a service marketplace, tiles. Now you see the tiles and all in service marketplace also. Wherever you go, they want to make it as the end user should feel same. You know, they don't want to keep searching for these buttons, left side one button, right side one button in each side. Okay, so they want to standardize the design, and that is what they did with SAP Fiori. So 5 years back, SAP Fiori was horrible. I mean, it is very slow and it was not at all appreciated by any customer. Okay, but now today it is in a much better shape and it is very good. I mean, I would say at least some of the areas it is doing very good. Okay, still there is a scope for improvement, Fiori UI, but it is better than what it was earlier, and it is web based, all devices. See, and the SAP's biggest problem was earlier. See, now we are everybody, most of the things like banking, everything we are doing over a mobile. So SAP's problem was 5-6 years back. It's not mobile supported. Yes, they came up with Java. Even though Java supports the mobile applications and all, still it didn't go well. I mean, with the mobile applications. So, but with this UI5, what they did, it's an HTML open source. So, see again, SAP in 2009, they realized that when Oracle started competing with SAP, or Oracle started purchasing these things, right, Java and all, SAP realized that I don't want to go with any of these licensed code line or anything. So why SAP picked Fiori? I mean, can anybody tell why SAP picked SAP Fiori as a platform to develop their UIs, not any other software? Because SAP has decided I don't want to go with any other things, or I will only go with open sources. So SAP Fiori is based on the HTML5, which is an open source, like Linux or Unix is an open source. Nobody can purchase it. You can say that Solaris and Red Hat and all, they can package it and sell it as a support. Support they can sell it, but nobody can license the Unix. So similar way, HTML5 they have picked in open source web platform and they have developed on it. So it's a web-based, all devices, which means mobile support and tablets and everything can support, and it's a role-based. So whatever the roles assigned to you, only you can see those functional aspects or those things. So decisive, predictive, and simulate. We will talk about these things. What does it mean by predictive? Because ML related things we can incorporate in those particular tiles or the theory, so which can give you the beautiful graphs. Okay, so that we will talk in the post once we do the conversion. In the exercises, I will explain about these things, how theory can show you those things. And even when we are doing readiness check and all, we can see these graphs and stuff. Okay. That's the theory. That's the background of theory. Hope now you understood. Now, the most important thing, application layer. The left side, I'm talking about this application layer. The middle blue color, SAP S4HANA ABAP. Okay. So, what they did here. So, how it is different from your SAP Business Suite or the earlier ERP. What they have done here is principle of one. Okay. What does this mean by the principle of one? Why they have to come up with this concept, principle of one? So simplification of applications and the data model. Okay. One recommended solution. Principle of one recommend. I'll tell you what it is. No aggregations and no indices. Higher flexibility and throughput. Data footprint reduction. So again here, what these guys, I mean, you may not understand it, but developers can understand this principle of one. Okay. So in ERP, in SAP Business Suite, for example, you take ERP, SCM, and what we call PLM. So if it is there, see what all there in this one, SRM, CRM. So when they are developing it, these guys have started doing the duplication. So they are independently developing each other. So SAP, because it's a business suite, when you give it to the customer, you give it as a package. So what the developers have done is, there is a repetition of the coding. In SAP ERP, they code and a similar function module they develop in SCM also. Similar function module they will develop PLM also. Okay. So which means obviously there are some similar functionalities which you may have to call. So each of these CRM developers have created a similar in a different code. Functionality is same, coding is different. Same is the case with SRM. Same is, so these SAP developers, they are not aligned internally, because how SAP works is department wise. So compartmental wise, CRM means CRM compartment. There are some 20,000 developers working on ERP, 30,000 developers working on it, like that. So they have their own code lines and they have developed it. See, functionality is working fine, but there is a lot of duplication of the code. Okay, they are doing the same function. So that has caused the business suite to be slow, right? When you have too many lines of coding, then there is a problem. So what they came up with, principle of one. Okay, so they have aligned their entire developers, or they have told them across the platforms, like Fiori they have done, right, open source, and I want all of you to use these standards. So like that, they have, I mean, all platforms like Service Marketplace, whichever department or whoever is doing UI, SAP has to stick to those UI guidelines, any developer. Like that, they have come up with that one. So with that, what they did is data footprint reduction. They have aligned all the architects of all the products, and they've told that let's standardize our development codes. So let's standardize, this is our, this is what we're going to do. Let's not do, if it is the functionality, and we have to stick to this code line. So we should not deviate from this one. So with that, what happened? that duplication of this coding, I mean for the same functionality in different products has been reduced significantly. The data footprint or the code footprint has reduced to 50%. You know, I've seen once the counting has happened in one of the system. So in ERP, how many lines of code is there? Some billion lines of code is there. In this one, only a 500 million lines of code is there in S4HANA. So which means same functionality you are achieving, but you have reduced the data footprint or the code line. Okay, then obviously, if you know the any common logic, right? If your logic is simple and if your code is simple, and then it will quickly fetch and it will give you the results. It's faster. So this is what happened in SAP S4HANA. So what you have to remind here is they have reduced the coding. They have revamped their entire. That is why SAP had to. So I ask you one question: why SAP did not upgrade just SAP Business Suite to S4HANA? I mean ERP 6.0 to ERP 7.0 or 8.0. Why it had to come up with an entire code line? The reason is, I mean, they cannot use that one. I mean, because these thing of code correction happens when completely you have to redo the entire coding. You know, when you have to reduce this 500 million, you cannot simply upgrade means you just correct the existing one. Here it is like deletion and rewriting the code. So that is why S4HANA is a complete new product code line, if you have to say. Okay. It was built on top of HANA, I mean, to leverage the benefits of in-memory capabilities. Okay. That is why they have developed this complete new product. So we know this HANA. So HANA as a platform. Okay. Please remind this, guys. Platform is a very tricky word. HANA platform, NetWeaver platform. When I say the platform means it has HANA, we know it as a database because it's the most commonly used or the SAP is represented. But HANA can do much more things. HANA as a platform. So you can integrate your mobile applications. Okay, you can do data analytics. You can do data intelligence. So a lot more things you can do with the HANA platform. Okay, but in this case, we are going to talk only HANA as a database in SAP S4HANA. Okay, so it's an in-memory compression. As I said, in-memory means RAM. So code push down. So the reduction of this code is possible only with the HANA database because they've created some views, and as and when needed, or it is always loaded into those views and you can fetch them quickly. So increase the speed of the data, obviously. So I mean, because it is all, the whole data is available over RAM, obviously the moment you do an SQL query, it will within seconds it will give you. And earlier in traditional database, the jobs which were taking 24 hours, 30 hours, they were running on the fly within 30 seconds, 40 seconds, because your entire database in memory. So obviously if your laptop's RAM is more, your speed is more simple. So like that. And see, having RAM itself doesn't make your laptop faster, but your operating system, right, or application also designed in such a way to utilize that RAM. So this is what they have done. So they came up with an HANA database which has excellent RAM, and they had to do the complete restructuring of this coding and rebuild the entire ERP thing. That is why it's a new product line. Okay, so this is the simple or the high level stack architecture. Three things: UI SAP Fiori, SAP S4HANA, and then HANA as a database. Okay, so when I say SAP S4HANA, so transaction logic has been changed. I mean, it's an in-memory logic and you have to fix. And then analytic engine, as I said, the graphs from the data, what is available in this system, which was not possible with the business suite. So in business suite or the ERP, what you have to do, you have BW reporting. You have to run a job and you have year-end reporting or quarterly reports you pull, right? So you wait for the 2 days to run that job and fetch the data, and you put it to a third-party application like Tableau or Microsoft Power BI analytics tools I'm talking. So you put it over there and then you generate the graphs. But here, analytic engine, so SAP has put the complete analytic logic also here. It will generate the graphs. It will give you on the fly what is your current business and what is the revenue, what are the loss, what is the profit, and everything it will show you right away. We will see this graph. And enterprise search, it's again searching with this column store in HANA, the search becomes much more faster. So this is the high level architecture of this SAP S4HANA. Any questions, guys, here before I move to further? Hello?
No.
So, I mean, are you following? Is it interesting, or let me know if I go fast, or if you not follow something. Okay. So you're getting the context, right? How I am going. So I will slowly jump into the uh, directly conversion after this, but it is important that you get these basics strong. Okay. Good.
If I can ask one question, can you explain about CDS views? Or maybe a background, or I don't know, maybe a brief, or
Okay.
it comes later in the training. It's okay.
No. So we are not going. CDS view is a development topic. I mean,
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with our basis.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah.
Yeah. So if you are interested, I can get you documentation tomorrow. Okay. So we will, I mean, we will spend a little bit of time over there. CDS view, see, I'll explain you how it happens. Let's take this gray background as a HANA database, right?
Okay.
So HANA database. So, and database contains what? Tables, obviously. I mean, if we talk about this, tables at the bottom, you have the tables, and then these tables present where? On the disks. Okay. Where does this physical data writes to the disk, right? I mean, data volume in the HANA server. Okay.
Yeah.
So now let's take in this CDS view place, let's assume that you have the memory. Okay. You have an SAP S4HANA. Let's say you have Fiori. So when you try to run a query from SAP Fiori, because it's an UI, it goes to the SAP S4HANA. Let's say you want to pull some data, okay, from particular table. It goes to the SAP HANA. It will think that, okay, it's in a OLTP or OLAP. OLTP means, have you heard of this OLTP? Transactional.
Yeah.
Okay. Transactional query. And OLAP?
Analytic.
Analytic. Good that you asked the question, so I can explain more detail this diagram. Okay. See, OLTP, what kind of operation is it? Is it reading or writing? Mostly. It can do both, but OLTP, transactional. So ERP is a OLTP or OLAP?
OLTP.
OLTP.
OLTP. So does that mean, or a BW?
OLTP.
Sorry? OLAP.
Yes.
BW is an OLAP system. Perfect. Your answer is correct. Now, OLTP, what kind of operation it is? It is more of a read or write?
Writing.
Writing. Yes. See, that is why transactional logic directly goes to this arrow to the table level. Can you see this? Okay. It directly, see, all the transactional data means it's more of a write. So whenever you have a use, so okay. Have you heard of this row store and column store databases?
Yes.
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 So Oracle is row store or column store?
Roster.
Store.
Yes. DB2?
Not aware.
See, all the traditional databases, okay, all the traditional what you had until 2011, DB2, Oracle, MaxDB, and all of them are row store. Okay. Yes, later they came up. I mean, Oracle at least came up in 2013 or 14 with the column store, but fine, let's keep that away. But all the traditional databases, what they were having, most of them were the row store databases. Okay. For OLTP systems, row store is better or column store is better? OLTP.
Row store.
Column store.
Row.
Row is better, I believe.
A row is better.
So, okay, let me explain you. So for all, please follow me guys, pay attention. It is very important topic as basis guys, you should have this clarity. Okay. See, all the transaction based, ERP is a transactional system because every time the end user goes and keep updating the tables. So whenever you have a use write operation, okay, transactional, OLTP, transactional or the write operation, always row store is the best. Okay. Row store is the best because it has to go and write. I mean, writing in a row is right? You know, one line by line, you can keep writing. Just imagine how you do on a paper. So you like writing in a row, right? I mean, letter to letter, next to letter, word to word, next. That is the row. That is the way of writing it in a row. Row store is the better. So simple way I'm saying, like you write on a paper. So writing operation or the transactional, so row store is the best. Okay, because you can write quickly next to each other. That is how the in the database disk writing, that is how it happens. Block by block, block by block, block by block, it writes. Okay, now the OLAP. So OLAP is a lot of reading. Okay, so reading means BW. Earlier, those databases were very slow. I don't know if you have remembered, BW report, quarterly report run for 2 days. And you have to keep monitoring that job. Any one of you monitored those jobs, BW jobs? So,
Yes.
yeah, 2 days, 3 days, you keep monitoring and oh God, it's a WTCC closer or quarterly report, you have to generate. So, they take a lot of time. Okay, because in a row store database, it has to go and search word by word. I mean, in a sequential way, word next to each other, and it will do a lot of querying. And so the thumb rule is whenever there is a lot of reading, the row store is not good. So whenever there is a reading or analytic, column store is the best. Okay. So column store is the best. What are the column store databases available at that time? Sybase. Sybase was one of the column stores, initial column store database. Who was doing the columns? Reading was it is a transactional and both OLAP, OLTP, both it will do better. But that was the one who has used for at least certain tables. Sybase was the one who used that particular column store. So what SAP did is they acquired the Sybase. They have put those column store features in this particular HANA. If I have to put, they did not invent this column store thing. So, but what they did, they packaged it in HANA database. It can do both row store and column store together. So whenever there is a OLTP transaction, it directly goes to the tables and it will write. And whenever there is a read operation, then this views comes into picture. So why I am giving this background is to explain the CDS view, what it will exactly do. Okay. Now you understand, right? So OLAP, this analytic engine, it uses the CDS views to give the faster response. How it gives, I'll tell you now. No way. Okay, sorry. I didn't deviate from this. Now, okay, Sybase, and they have combined those OLTP and yeah. HANA is a row store or column store? Now the next question. Let me come back again.
Column.
You can see in the diagram, guys. So it's a row store or column store. So what is the second, this one, OLAP and OLTP merge? Can you see this?
It has both. It has
We have both.
Both.
Exactly.
Majorly
That's the
column.
beauty of- Yes. So it uses both. It is both. It is both OLTP and OLAP. That's the key point here. That is why HANA is much more faster compared to yeah. So whenever there is an OLTP or the transactional related thing comes, right, it directly goes and writes in rows here. Direct logic. It directly goes to the table and update. Whenever there is a query, for example, analysis app, design studio analysis app or BW or whatever it is, it will use this analytic engine or enterprise search to give the data. The views here, these CDS views are created in the column store. And no, the tables are created in the column stores. On top of it, that those tables are loaded as views. Okay. Got it? So CDS means full form something is there, man. I don't remember. If I tell you the CDS full form, it will be very easy. No, okay. Let me tell you what they did. So you have these tables all at the OS level, right? So suitable table. What they did is they knew, because SAP is their product, right? I mean, SAP's product. They knew that which tables are used for BW. I mean, where they read a lot, right? When you run a report, you know which table it is going to fetch the data. What they did, all those tables, they put it in column store. Column store is easy to read. Why? Because in an Excel, you just have to, you give the field. For example, let me open this one. Let me explain this. So, okay. So, see my Excel. Suppose in row store means you have to read row 1. This line, this line, this line. So, let me say 1, 2, 3, like this. And then 5, 6, like this. Okay. You remember, okay, now let me put here 9, 10. Okay. Suppose if I have to search for 10, okay, this 10. If I have to search for 10, what in a row store thing, how it search? It will go to the 1, this, this thing, and then it will come here. So the query will take time until it reaches 10. So if it is available here, that is fine. Okay. So immediately it will give you. So this is the problem. So searching becomes, if it is a column store, the moment you say that the query B column, right? So some billions of entries, and if it is row means it's not possible to maintain exact thing. So column store means it will simply go to that and it has to search only 2 entries. You got the point, right? Or you have only 6 columns, or they will reduce it to 3 columns. So they will put all the data in 3 columns. So which means it just has to search in 1 column. Okay. So read operation, write operation, transaction. Writing always it writes in this one. So like this, one by one. So in the block. So which means for the transaction or writing operation, row store is better. For searching operation or the reading operation, the column store is better. That is the reason. Now, what these views are created. So what they did is these BW tables, all of them, they put as views. Okay. What do you mean by views? They put them as, they created the indexes. I mean, this indexing. Indexing means, for example, if I have to search this 10, they will create a view stating that B column, row, what is this one? B3, that's it. So they maintain it as a B column and third row, B3. So they knew the tables, so they have created a view or indexing on the RAM. Okay. Whenever there is a query comes, BW query, BW query comes to search particular table or pull a data for last 1 year, it will come and look for this view. Okay. So then it knows the exact location and tuck it will fetch and it will give you. Okay. And all those tables are loaded into this RAM. You understand, right? That is what this CDS views is. Okay. Did I answer your question? You understood, right? Now how it works? I don't know who asked it.
Yes, I do.
So these are the CDS views because SAP knows what tables the BW or the reading operations most frequently used tables. They will load them into the RAM and they will create these indexes or structures or in the as name view. Okay. So CDS full form, I will search for it, man. I don't remember this exact word.
It's core data services.
Sorry?
Core data services.
Yes. Core data services. That is what that view. I mean, core data services is nothing but those tables, whatever they frequently used, those things, they will put it as views over there.
Okay.
Good. Now you got the clarity, right? What is this UI layer? Good you asked this question so that I am able to explain this OLAP and OLTP as well. Okay. Perfect. Well, now we are talking about this next generation business suite, S4HANA. And anyway, most of the things I've already explained in the previous slide. So, I mean, just remember this few things. So in the slide you see SAP Fiori user experience, explained you. So Internet of Things or the applications and the people, many of them can use this UI. So SAP S4HANA applications and extensions and the, again, the connections of these devices, analytics tools and stuff. So SAP HANA as a platform. See here, it's not database. HANA as a platform. It can do multiple big data also. It can do social network connectivity. So lots and lots of things. Okay. And what is the another important feature for a platform? It should be able to integrate. So when NetWeaver platform came, SAP NetWeaver, right, with ERP on SAP Business Suite on NetWeaver platform, Java was the one which helped to integrate. So now here they will use this OData services or Fiori. When we talk about Fiori, I will tell you what are those integration platforms SAP uses. So SAP HANA platform has features or it can enable integrating with the hybrid scenarios. For example, cloud solutions, Ariba, Concur, Field. So these are all acquired, guys. None of them are SAP solutions at the bottom, but it is SAP now. I mean, they have acquired from outside. That is why I'm not focusing too much on them because that's the core. Whatever I have shown you the history, right? That is the core of SAP's invention. So Ariba, Concur, and they are all acquired later. These are the cloud solutions and they can integrate with this particular SAP S4HANA. Okay. So, and one more important thing, as I said, SAP S4HANA is a new product line. Okay. So it's the classical business suite and SAP ERP is a separate product line. As I told you, so they cannot simply upgrade the ERP from 6.0 to 7.0 because they have to use this both because early ERP was a row store. And how do you make it as a column store with this HANA database? So they had to do a complete coding separately. So as I said, create the CDS views for faster response for the OLAP queries or the BW queries. So like that, they had to do complete revamping the entire coding. So it's a complete product line. So that is why there is no option just ERP 6.0 to ERP 7.0. They could not able to do it, and they had to come up with reinvent the wheel, I would say. They had to do the complete reinvention of this product. Okay. So main innovation pillars of S4HANA. Again, I will be talking these three things, but anyway, just have it. New user experience, we discussed. Simplified data model. I mean, if somebody asks in a certification or somewhere, just remember this. So simplification, data model and application innovation, as I told you. So the redundancy of application level, principle of one, I have explained you, right? Principle of one. So each department or each SRM, CRM, everybody was doing the same functionality, different coding. So they eliminate the redundancy on application level, so that the reduced data footprint. Okay. So that is what simplified data model means. And then SAP HANA, as I said, OLAP, OLTP merge. So HANA can do both. So data compression, I mean, unused data or not most, there is a cold data and warm data. Have you heard of these words? Warm data means most frequently used data. Cold data means not so frequently. So cold data, they will compress it and they keep it, and whenever they need it, they will uncompress and use it like that. So various engines for planning and predictive and text mining. So I mean, as I said, this HANA is much more capable than what it is. So text mining means searching of the text. For example, in Google, you go and put your company FTD Infocom, right? It will search across the so much of data. That is the text mining. Okay, text search. So and then predictive. Predictive means my revenue sales are, that is all comes into data science. I mean, just giving you overview. So that predictive features or the machine learning capabilities, they have included in this HANA. Okay, speed, simplification, and innovation. So there are much more features they have included in this particular thing. Okay, so any questions, guys? Hope the architecture is clear, right? SAP S4HANA, before we proceed further. Any questions here before I move to the next slide?
No questions.
No questions.
Very good.
Just one point to clarify on principle of one. So it's majorly, this point is majorly focused on development of the code, right? So that they use a similar or
yes,
a templated kind of code to use in all the components.
Yes.
Across the components. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So for example, SAP Business Suite you have, right? Okay. Business Suite means 5 applications, let's say. Okay. ERP, and then you have this SCM, and you have the CRM. Okay. So in SAP ERP, there is you look at it as a business suite. So ERP, you have a code line stating that you have to set some functions. Okay. Some table or something. Okay. Writing the 2 particular table. And a similar table would have existed in the CRM also. Okay. So there they have written a different coding. So now the problem is this, there are 2 codes when a person as an ERP is obviously the end user, right? Or let's take BW, you run a query. I want to see my revenue sales from so and so date and to current state or something, what you want. Now it has to go and see the ERP. Okay, what is this one? And ERP is integrated to SCM, and it also wants to see the current status in SCM, what it is happening, and it will execute one code here, and it goes to the SCM, and it will again execute the same code there. You got it, right? So which means redundancy for the same function or the same feature in both products. So you have 2 different codes, which means your program compilation, right? Compiling. So each program when you run, you have to compile. So 2 times it has to compile. So it will lead to some milliseconds of time also, but it is unnecessary, right? So what they did is, so they put same logic in CRM, SCM, everywhere, which means same program or the same logic. So once it has compiled, means it doesn't have to do the compilation again. You don't have to do a new compilation. I'm talking in the development terms. You're getting the point, right? So if you put the same program and same logic, you don't need to compile anything. Directly it goes and fetch it, even though it has to search twice. Okay. But however, they reduce that also. So that redundancy of this code or execution of this multiple, for the same function, different logic. So that they have completely deleted it. So as I said, right, when I did, there was one exercise I've done when I was working for SAP. So 500 million entries were reduced I will show you one slide in module 2. I have put one slide. Okay, I will show you exactly what they did. I have it. Yeah, data simplification. I have 2 slides over there. Okay, I will explain you what all functionalities they have reduced, and if clearly I will show you in a slide what was in ERP and what is in the S4HANA. Okay, we will talk in module 2, that part.
Yes.
Okay,
Fine.
good. So good. So in SAP S4HANA, you just need understand little bit over here. So first SAP Business Suite, this we all knew. Just I mean to get you the overview of where we are now. So SAP Business Suite, SAP ERP6 and EHP 0 to EHP 8. Follow my mouse, guys. Okay, EHP 0 to EHP 8. So EHP 8 is the current version and there is no other version. So what is the current ERP version? If somebody asks you, ERP 6.0, EHP 8 is the latest version. That's it. Okay. And then SAP NetWeaver, as you know, SAP Basis Component version 7.0 to 750. And we all knew that AnyDB. That is the SAP Business Suite architecture. AnyDB. AnyDB means so DB2, Sybase, Oracle, whatever it is. Now, second thing, they came up with another product line, SAP Business Suite powered by SAP HANA, which means same ERP runs on the HANA database, not AnyDB. Okay, so this one SAP ERP 6.0, EHP 7 and EHP 8. Only these 2 versions are compatible with the HANA. Please focus. See, AnyDB, EHP 0, EHP 1, EHP 2, EHP 3, all these works. And EHP. But powered by HANA Business Suite only works with EHP 7 and EHP 8. These are the latest versions. I mean, last 2 versions, N-2 versions. Okay, that's the difference. And NetWeaver version also 740 and 750. That's it. Not more. 7.0, 730, all not. So HANA 1.0. Okay. Suppose when somebody asks you SAP Business Suite powered by HANA, so what is the versions possible? Only EHP 7 and EHP 8. That's it. And what is the what are the NetWeaver versions? 740. NetWeaver means SAP Basis Component. Okay. Don't get too much confused. The SAP _ Basis Component. 740 and 750. HANA 1.0. Now, SAP S4HANA Finance. So you don't focus on this slide at all, just for your information. 1503 and 1605, there are 2 middle versions they have released. So just for finance area with the simplified finance. So and then the first major breakthrough or the first version of SAP S4HANA came in the 1511. Okay. So does anybody tell me what is this 1511, 1610, 1709, 1809? How do they name it? Can you tell me? When I say
Year and the month,
Year and
2015 and November.
So why in 2015 they deliver, 11th month, which is November, they delivered. Why in 2016 they delivered in October? Why in 17 they delivered in September? You see, right? 09 is September. And now onwards, 1709 and 1809. What is the 1909? Later, 1909, 2000. After that, they have stick to this 9, I think. Yes, 9. And then SAP S4HANA 2020, right? 2020. Yes, 2020 and then 2021. So what is the latest version? SAP S4HANA 2021, right? But no, the 21 is not a month. You getting my point, guys? What I'm
Maybe just stick to the year now.
So I'll tell you what happened. So 1511, 1610, 1709, I was there. So I was the one of those guys who built this 1511 system, S4HANA system for the developers. See, in SAP, you need somebody to build the system, right? Where do you develop the code? Okay. First, you have to have a system. So this SAP S4HANA 1511 I built, and it was a nightmare, I would say. So the reason is you don't get anywhere in Google or anywhere issues. Even in SAP also, these basis issues, no one knows. There's nothing. It was the first time we were doing from the core. It took around 6 months for the first system build, including around, we were 20 basis guys and 5 architects, and I think 150 developers involved in first building of this 1511. Building system only, not the code development. Code development was done by the many people, but I was one of those basis guys involved in this 1511. Okay. So in 2015, yes, 15 stands for 2015 and 11 is for the November. Good. The system was ready by November and we released it to the market. Okay. It is like as if you have developed a motorbike design and you have produced it and you give it to the 11th month. But only 1 month you have. December, and then the next month, January, it will become a old version, right? You're getting the point. So where is the time for the customers to adapt it? I mean, if you release your system itself in November, 1 month goes for the customer deals and all, then you don't have time. I mean, for the we are not giving, and moreover, it's not only the problem. So you have developed your SAP S4HANA. What about your partners? There are a lot of people who integrate with SAP, right? Third-party applications like Transport Express. I don't know if you heard of it. Lots of EY, tax-related applications, lot of them. So you are just giving them 1 month for them to test their integration or application. Those guys gone crazy. Okay, because 2020, suppose 15 means by 16th first month, these guys also have to come with the latest version, right? Or at least by end of this 2015, they should announce their version also. You know, Transport Express 2.0, 3.0 applications. So this was the problem. It was too late. So November is the too late. Then what they did? So as per the partners, noise, they have reduced to 1 more month, which means October 2016. Yeah, we learned something and we did quickly this time, and then they said, oh my God, 2 months, that is also not sufficient. Move little bit. So then 1709, which means September. By September, the new version will be ready. Okay. So like that, 1809, 2009 come. So then they were fed up of this thing. Okay, let's not give this month at all. So then we will name it as 2020 version or 2021 version. So now I think they are coming by June. Okay, last 3 years I have not focused, but by June your systems are ready and they will give it to the partners in June. So they have enough time to test their applications, and by 9th month September they release the new version. Okay, that is the background of these versions. Okay, and SAP NetWeaver, so 750, 751, 752, it goes keep on going like this. Latest versions we have better, I think 760 or 770. We'll see in the system. So from 750 onwards, HANA 2.0. I mean from 1709 onwards, 1709, 1809, 1909. The current version is we are using HANA 2.0 SP5 is the latest HANA version. So what we are going to do is the 2020 version of the S4HANA for our exercises. So which is on the HANA 2.0, we will verify over there. Okay. So this is how SAP S4HANA evolved from the SAP Business Suite, and these are the critical components. Okay. So now, again, I am stressing evaluation of SAP S4HANA architecture. So don't don't worry. So ERP, we discussed it, and then 1511, as I said, you ignore this 1503, and these were trial and errors things. Nobody has used them, and it is offered. 1511 and 1610 is the first S4HANA version, SAP. So initially they have integrated with cloud solutions. Okay, this is what I want to show this slide. Why I introduced this slide is Hybris, Ariba, Concur, they have acquired these things in 2015 itself. They have integrated, and then 1709, 1809, they have introduced SAP Cloud Platform. You would have heard it. So SAP Data Hub, Ariba, these are all again. So means the intention of telling is they have SAP Leonardo, they have started introducing lots and lots of new features as and when this SAP S4HANA product with all the latest versions. So you see in 1511 you have HANA layer. You see innovations at each layer, you can see in this slide. Sorry. So HANA layer CDS views you have, because I told you CDS view is the key point for the OLAP to function, OLAP or the BW thing to function. So in 2017-09, they have introduced predictive analytics integrator. So which is to do the future. I mean, this is my current and what will be in the next 1 month or something. That features they have ML capability. And then they have introduced here the Leonardo, which is machine learning. And then they have introduced the IBP field, IBP here. So they are new things. So with each version, they have introduced new. That's what I'm trying to say. And cloud platform also came up with 1709. And if we go with 1909, this is the one of the most stable or strongest innovations. And 2020, 2021 also successes and little bit improvements. But this is the breakthrough, I would say. I mean, 1909 version. So where they have brought IBP, SAC. Have you heard of SAC? SAP Analytics Cloud. They also came up with their own cloud solution for analytics like Power BI or Tableau. I don't know if you have heard of them. So or in Python also they do a lot of analytic tools are there. This is analytic tool they came. So it can integrate all of these things. And then it's a package basically. And also experience management. SAP has acquired Qualtrics. Okay. I think, I don't know if you guys heard, one of the highest paid as a money transaction, that was 8 billion. They purchased acquired a company with 8 billion. Okay. It came in news also. I mean, as a cash, generally companies don't acquire companies by cash. Okay. But SAP paid 8 billion as a cash. That's a, in Europe, you can Google it. So I don't know how much money they had it. So they put all their or their tax saving or something, they acquired. They paid 8 billion as a cash. I mean, it's the one of the high, even Tesla and these guys also never paid that much cash. But it's a small company, but they paid as a cash and purchased this, acquired that experience management Qualtrics, and then they integrated it. So this is the overview of the innovation features, features they have included by the version. Okay. How many, yeah, I think I have a little more slides. Okay. Again, I will revamp this SAP S4HANA architecture, and then we will proceed slowly into the conversion, our topics. Just in a nutshell.
Yes, so we have started with history of, hi, this is Sophia. Yeah.
Yeah, hi Sophia.
Yeah,
yes,
we have started with the history of ERP with the evolution of SAP over the years from 1970s till this point. And then we started with the components, basically the difference between SAP ERP, Business Suite, and then how SAP HANA came into picture, and followed by SAP S4HANA. And then we saw what are the difference basically between the components in SAP Business Suite and SAP S4HANA.
Yes, yes.
And then slowly into S4HANA, we saw the high-level architecture, basically what is there on the three different layers, on the UI layer, on the application layer, as well as the database layer.
Yes.
And after deeply in going into the components, then later we saw the evolution of SAP S4HANA, actually from right from what are all the components that is involved, be it from Business Suite, what are all the different ERP components, and NetWeaver and SAP HANA, and in SAP S4HANA over the years, how it was built, and with the naming convention of the year and the months and so on.
Good, good. Thanks a lot, Sophia, for the, yes, that's what we discussed so far. And one thing you would have noticed, right? SAP has not deviated from this R3 architecture. I mean, 3-tier architecture, right? Even in SAP S4HANA, you see an UI layer. Yeah, it's a different. Instead of SAP GUI and others, they are using Fiori. Yeah, SAP GUI is still there, but user interface has been changed. And then you have application and database layer. Still, it's an R3 architecture. Okay, if somebody asks you, what is the architecture in SAP S4HANA? Also, it's an R3 architecture. That's the one thing. And one more thing, so you don't have to take any notes. I'm just opening in the speaker notes. Whatever I speak, right? So even more than what I spoke, I have noted these points, you know, the background and all from the standard books or the open source I have taken, and I put it over there. Okay. So just for your reference in future, see, you see this. So you don't have to take notes for anything. I mean, see, the first pillar, user experience, whatever I am speaking, right? So everything, this is helpful for your certification also. I mean, it's not that just I'm randomly speaking. I took it from the standard books and I have kept this content over here. Okay. So the theory or the definitions are helpful when you go for the certifications. Okay. So see the innovations, what happened, and what are the new features they've included. So these parts I have covered over there. Okay, you don't have to take notes. That's what I'm trying to say. So just a time, but what you do is, I mean, to make it more thing, try to make it as interactive as possible, so that we all are awake, and you know, it should not be a monologue where I'm speaking and you're just listening, because after 1 or 2 hours you lose that attention span. Okay, that I don't want to have it. Let's make this 4 hours as interactive as possible, and it's a learning for each of us, you know, from your experience and with your questions and stuff. Okay, so and see this conversion, then after this it is just like we keep running the tools. Okay, it is more of a practice. I mean, run the tool or run the report and download the report, put it, upload it over there. That kind of this thing, as you know, these tools thing, right? So there is nothing to discuss too much about concepts or things. So why do you want to know how somehow it will upgrade? Nobody wants to know, and it is not possible for us to know also, because it's a development, how they developed and all. We don't need to get into that. So that is what going forward we will be having very few theory. It's all about the practicals and how we build and how we face the situation. That's how it is. Okay. So the module 1 and module 2 are the very strong fundamental foundations. And then module 9, where I talk about theory. Okay. Theory, and then theory we have SPDD and SPAU. There I will cover some concepts. So apart from that, rest all are like clean practice and the exercises. Okay. Good. So SAP S4HANA architecture we discussed. There is nothing
Hello?
much. Yeah, hi.
Yeah, sorry, this is Mohan. Sorry to interrupt. So yeah, for sure we'll try to be as interactive as possible, as you said. So when you're talking about the speaker notes you are showing us in the screen, right? So are they available in the drive that you shared to us already? I mean, I have
No, we
opened
will
in
share you.
PDF.
No, we will share you after this session. I will get them shared. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Okay,
So even sometimes I keep updating them with your Q&A and you know, like for example, CDS views you have asked, right? So what I will get that content and I will update it in that particular slide, and I will you know, ask them. So you may get the draft versions now. I mean, you would have get it, the draft versions.
Yeah.
But I always keep tweaking even when I'm presenting also, because it all varies, right? I mean, when you're talking as per your questions, Q&A and all, you will receive it by EOD today. Okay. After this session, every day, I will share you that particular day's clean PPTs like this. You see it, right? In my content.
Yeah, got it. Yes.
So these are all I've edited and I've kept them. Okay. You will receive it after this session. Okay. So before coming to the next session, you can quickly review it and you can come to that. Good.
Thanks, Nishant.
Very good. So now, yeah, SAP S4HANA, same architecture which I've explained. So UI, and then the blue lines is the application layer, and then the bottom layer, HANA, they have removed it. So HANA, yeah, here you can see HANA 2.1. Okay. So what here we are trying to say is you may need to have an web dispatcher. So, and then you may also have to, I mean, this is a NetWeaver AS, Java, Adobe Document Service. And this is the only use case where SAP has to stick to still Java. I mean, there's no replacement at the moment. So Adobe Document Services, you know, PDF generations and stuff. So this is the only service they're still relying on Java. I don't know why. Okay. Or maybe it is costly to develop instead of purchasing the license, it could have been costly to purchase redo the whole coding and stuff. Yeah, that's why they're sticking to the license in Java. So, and anybody knows what Web Dispatcher do? Have you come across Web Dispatcher? Just to give you
load balancing,
Firewall.
load balancing of what?
It acts as a front end
balancing of
the users, and then it acts as a load balancer for the backend system. Like if we have two application servers, then it will be load balancing between two, including using the message server.
So what is the difference between message server and load balancer? See,
web traffic and R3 traffic, regular RFC.
Yes.
Yes.
So SAP Web Dispatcher do two functions. One is the load balancing of the web traffic. Okay. When I say web traffic, what kind of traffic? HTTP, HTTPS. I mean, these are the main two web traffic, right? Most of the traffic, what we see in this one, HTTPS only. Now it's HTTPS secure. HTTP is being faded out because it's not so secure. So HTTPS, wherever possible, always try to use the HTTPS. Okay, that is one thing. Okay, load balancing of the web traffic. So message server is SAP GUI traffic. You know, it handles the SAP end user logs into the SAP GUI. The traffic is taken care by the message server. Okay, and the second part is web dispatcher. Many people ignore it. Web dispatcher for the web traffic, right? This HTTP and HTTPS. This is the one of the most trickiest. You know, you have to be very, very careful. Security. You know, so this HTTP and HTTPS traffic, you have to be very careful and provide a security mechanism. That is possible with the web dispatcher. Okay. I don't know if you have worked on it. So web dispatcher, there is a feature from which IPs I can allow the traffic, or the HTTPS traffic. For example, if you are getting from the same corporate network, you say that this corporate network only I want to allow the traffic. So that is possible with the web dispatcher. Okay, there is a ACL or a file in the particular web dispatcher. There you have to update, hello so and so traffic, and you don't allow that. So security is the another important aspect of the web dispatcher, which we frequently ignore it. Okay, so two things web dispatcher do: one, load balancing, and another one is the security. Okay, so as NetWeaver Java, this Adobe Document Services, have you worked on this ADS?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a simple sum. People will ask, configure ADS. So it is just to generate the PDFs, output control of the technical support. And if you want to see one more thing, guys, I mean, I may not able to get into the too much technical details, but for every topic, I try to keep a note. I mean, I have collected the note. You see this SAP note 2655761. So for every topic, there is a note. I mean, in future, if you are working on this conversion project, you just go through these PPTs and the labs which I have given. That's it. 80% of your documentation in a complete structured way, you will get it. Okay. Adobe Document Services. If you want to refer something, you refer this note. That is the always best thing. Even though I would have explained you some concepts, that will vary. So notes is the best way to get the latest and up-to-date information. Please keep in this mind always. So, and the web dispatcher, when I say latest version of the web dispatcher, you refer this 908097, which I have put it here. Always, wherever I'm talking now, that PD might be applicable at the moment, but in future it may change. Okay. So always when you are referring it in future, remember, go to the latest versions, whatever I've given in the notes or the slides. Okay. That's why I would have simply removed all these things and covered this and completed the slide, but it is very important that you have this information. Okay, good. So now let's proceed the HANA. I mean, I just want to give you some simple overview of this, how the advantages of HANA. So yeah, SAP ASC, you see these yellow ones are the nodes. ASC, SAP MaxDB, Oracle DB, IBM DB2, these are the MSGs I think we discussed. These are the traditional databases which were there in the market. Okay. So it's all row ones I've explained you. So row stores. So here row storage database databases. So ECC, SAP ECC is designed, or ERP. So ECC here they are terming it as a component. In ERP, as I said, SAP ERP central component or ECC is the main component which we will get update. SAP S4HANA, as I said, it's a product name. SAP S4HANA server, you see SRV is maintained. So server we are talking. Okay. SAP ECC is designed for row-based data, needs aggregate of tables, and does not use any DB procedures. Okay. But here HANA DB column stores are stored, and there are some DB procedures like CDS views and some table relevant procedures have been defined so that it can leverage the take advantage of the column store database. Okay, so this is what it mentions, takes advantage from the column based data, much faster reading. I explained you OLAP how it is faster, does not need an aggregate of tables, because in columns table they have created the views in such a way that the aggregation happens with the DB procedures. Okay, but anyway, that is part of those things are the HANA modeling. I don't know if you heard of this training, HANA modeling. I mean, I am not an expert in that particular modeling and how to do this table structuring and all, but it just know that they have defined these procedures and all so that it doesn't have to do like in ECC. Okay, HANA is a much faster way because of these two aspects. Okay. Now, the important thing, SAP basis releases of SAP ECC and SAP S4HANA server. So as I said, when I say NetWeaver version or SAP basis, it is important. So up to 740 SAP ECC, I mean traditional ERP systems will have up to 740, and SAP S4HANA server, the minimum requirement is 750. SAP basis version is 750, or the NetWeaver version we can call, in the general terminology, 750 is minimal and 750 to this one. So with this old SAP basis versions, you will not be able to do the conversion, or I mean, you will not be S4HANA you will not do. So what you have to do is you need to get it to minimum 750 version or upgrade it, and then you start doing the conversion. Okay. So good. So then, because I'm trying to compare ECC versus S4HANA so that you get some good. Again, ERP 6.0 EHP8. If you look into this, how the components looks. So EAHR 608. So the most important ones are the middle dark blue, SAP ABA. 750, SAP Basis 750. This is the latest version of the SAP ERP. You know, right? That is EHP 8 is the latest, and that's it. From 2012 onwards, they have never, they came up with S4HANA and they didn't do anything. They didn't release anything else new. So this is the latest 750 and 715, and it is always good to have this latest version, and it is easy to convert to SAP S4HANA. So as I said, SAP Basis 750, or when we say SAP NetWeaver 7.5 means it has 750 version of Basis and above. Okay, and then so SAP underscore EBA, if you log into the SAP S4HANA 2020 version, and you can see 75F. Okay, F stands for, anybody knows what is this F?
Finance?
Nothing here, foundation. So it's an ABAP foundation. So SAP underscore ABA, it's an 75 foundation, ABAP foundation 2020 they call it. When we say ABAP foundation 2020, so here it's a NetWeaver 7.5, just renamed it to ABAP foundation 2020, and then SAP Basis 755 and ABAP. This is what you see in the particular thing. Okay, so this is the difference of the components. I mean core components. So ABA version in ECC latest version is this, and S4HANA version is this. Okay, same. That's what I want to make it clear over here. Good. So concept of upgrade and conversion. See, you might have you know, for conversion so okay. Now let's talk about the tools. So for doing, have you ever worked on the upgrades in your thing, in your landscape? Upgrades or the patching?
Yeah.
Yes.
So which tool you use?
Some
tool. Okay. So suppose, have you installed any additional application servers?
Yes.
What tool you used?
SWPM.
Okay. So, and have you done the migration?
Not migration. No, not yet.
Migration.
DMO. SAP S4HANA.
But we use DMO.
Some with DMO.
Some with DMO. Okay. On normal migration, suppose if you want to move from DB2 to Oracle or Oracle 2 to SAP S, what do you do? See, for any patches or upgrades, we use some tool. That's clear. And for general migration, you know, earlier, for example, Oracle to Sybase or Microsoft Windows to DB2 or a Microsoft SQL Server to DB2, what you use? We use SWPM, export and import, right? Database export and database import method. So wherever we use database and export and import method, we use SWPM. But conversion is different, right? And we are using some tool. Okay. So this is the different part. I will talk about it, how this is different. So, but in general, database export and import will be done by the SWPM, and then upgrades are done by the sum tool. But in this case, it is a little different. I will explain it to you. Okay. Now, but let's talk about this one. So you see this table, SAP ECC 740 and SAP MaxDB or Sybase DB or whatever it is. So we are going to the same DB. Okay. But target is 740 plus more SPs. So it is a clear case of support pack update. So what do we use? Here the tool used is sum tool. Clear? Anyone has any questions? It's a maintenance. So we call this as just an SP update, which is, we call it as a patching. Apply support package patching we do with sum tool. Did you get it? Just that. And then SAP ECC 740, and it is on the MaxDB. And here ECC 750 we are going. Please follow me, guys. I know you know it, but I want to make it clear difference. What is maintenance? What is upgrade? What is DMO? With in a keen details. So 740 to 750 you are going. In the above case, 742 plus patches only. That is a maintenance activity. So 740 to 750, what is this? It is an upgrade. You are going from 740 version to the 750 version on the same database. So you see, when there is the same database and it is just an upgrade, and yeah, you need upgrade DVDs or upgrade files, which you have to download from the service marketplace. Again, the packages also you download it, but you need DVDs. I mean, extra mounts or the extra softwares here. Now, the third option, ECC 740 MaxDB. It is the MaxDB, Sybase or any other DB, you imagine. So here, same version, 740 to 740 and SAP HANA DB. So here the HANA is changed. I mean the database is changed. So it's a export and import method we have to use, and DMO only, database migration option only. Okay, this is what you have to database migration option. So here you have to use the this DMO option of some, or you can also use this particular what we call traditional SWPM export and import also. Okay, that also works. Anything is fine, but it's a clear migration option. You got it right. So in this case, upgrade with DMO, SAP ECC 740 and database has changed, and then version also changed. In this case, you have to use which tool? Sum with DMO option. So the fourth one. See, the third one you can do with SWPM or sum with DMO. The fourth one you will do only with sum with DMO option together. Or you do the upgrade first 750. We will talk later. SAP MaxDB upgrade, and then you go with a different tool, 2 tools. But if you use one tool and if you want to get it done, you use sum with DMO option. Okay. Now this one, ECC 740, SAP HANA DB, 755 and HANA DB, same server. Okay. So here it is a conversion. So here you are going from ECC to S4HANA and on the same DB. So here what you do, you use sum tool without DMO option. Simple. Okay. Sum with without a DMO option, there is an option to tick or untick. So it's there is no migration here. See, the target database is also HANA. The only thing is ECC has to be changed to this one. So source DB is a HANA DB, so without DMO. So SAP S4HANA conversion with DMO. So this one. So ECC 740 MaxDB. So this is the scenario we are going to work. Okay, the last one. So if you understand this, then rest all are like options, whether you use. So in our case, in our exercise, ECC we are having, and then we will talk about the landscape version. I have to check it there, and we are on the SAP Sybase database, and we will move to the SAP S4HANA 2020 on the HANA database. This is the one which we do. So the tool which we use is the sum tool latest version with DMO option. Okay. So any questions on this thing, upgrade, concepts of these upgrades and conversion?
No.
Good. So if no questions, then yeah. So this is what the way to SAP S4HANA, one step versus two step approach. Okay. Let's say you have ERP 6.0, EHP 0 to 8, anyone, EHP 01 or 02 or 03, whatever it is. It is on any DB, Sybase, MaxDB or whatever it is. And you want to go to the SAP S4HANA in this right side. Okay. So the one which we discussed earlier, one approach, conversion in one step, which is sum with DMO option. You can take it directly to the SAP S4HANA, number one. Or you can go first to the SAP HANA database. Only the database migration, export and import method. Either you use SWPM or either you use the SIM DMO with only DMO option, no upgrade. I mean, you don't want to upgrade, only DMO, that option will be there. I will show you when we run the tool. Only migration. So do the migration. As I said, ERP on HANA, only EHP 7 and 8 are available. Okay, rest of the components doesn't support. So you take it to this level. So this is the conversion in two steps. First, you move to HANA, you wait for some time or 6 months, you validate it, and then you move it to the SAP S4HANA. Then you do the conversion to be option. So, but if you have decided to go to SAP S4HANA, then it is useless to go to HANA and then this one. It's a waste of time, I would say. So it is always the first step is the recommended. Anyway, you are taking risk. So you see, here you need one time to export, import and another downtime. And imagine the amount of resources you invest, right? Basis, developers, functional, everybody. And even in this case also you need, because when you move to HANA, the structures, function modules, they change. I mean, there's too much of pain. You have to go through the same pain again and again. So by hook, just try to do in one shot and go to SAP S4HANA. That's the best approach, until unless you have some business clearly say your functional case a very strong reason why you have to be, because there are some custom codes, where you cannot move to the SAP S4HANA and you need them for 1 year for legal compliance perspective or certain things. Only in those cases you can go to the SAP HANA and wait for that getting approvals for those legalities and tax related, tax related thing, you can't simply change the structure of your invoice and stuff. You cannot change as it is. So such kind of critical cases only you move to S4HANA. I mean, you don't move to S4HANA, but 99% SAP strongly recommends to take it directly. Sorry, to the S4HANA. I'm just giving you background. I mean, these options are possible. So upgrade of ECC, an example I'm just trying to show. So here we have SAP ECC 6.SP5 and ECC 6.8. So EHP 5 to EHP 8 we are upgrading. You can see EAHR and EF in service, and they have gone to 8 at the end, means EHP 8 they have gone. So main components to check this is SAP APPL and SAP HR component. You can see clearly. So tick mark means it's just a simple upgrade. Okay. So no conversion, nothing is involved, just to give you background. And then SAP S4HANA conversion of ECC example. Sorry. So SAP ECC 6.EHP5, and if you convert it to directly 2020, yes, there are changes. So the components, SAP HR will be in 6808, and S4 core, you see some new components. S4 core 105, SAP ABA 75F, ABAP foundation layer it will come, and SAP basis also 755 layer it goes. Okay, so this is how this is an example how the component looks when you do a conversion. Okay. Then the most important thing is complexity drivers. Okay. So what can make your upgrade project, just to get a understanding what can lead to this, why this conversion is so complex, why every customer thinks that it looks crazy for them. I mean, converting ERP to S4HANA is not easy, what I am explaining. It's very tough, and even the training also is one of the toughest trainings, I would say. I mean, yes, clearing the certification is easy. There is just one book and 220 pages and all screenshots only. Read it and practice some online questions and then go and do it. Certification is also easy, but practically this is one of the toughest of the in terms of the training or in terms of the execution also in the project. Okay, very tough. So what are the complexity drivers? Okay, so number of customer and modified objects, because S4HANA is, as I said, it's a complete new code line. It is not just patching, or it's just not an upgrade of the existing ERP system. You're taking the system from one code line to a different code line. Okay, so which means, as I said, the objects has been reduced, the logic has been changed. So then how do you deal? So there will be a huge functional and ABAP challenges you're going to have. And the very bad thing is, in any customer or outside people, they do not have such a level of ABAP skill. No matter you may have an excellent ABAP, ABAP is developed by SAP. You need a very strong SAP developers to handle such things. But yes, in conversion projects, there's no doubt that you have to involve the SAP developers along with your developers. Okay, so there it is the most challenging. So as a basis guy, you will be comfortable in executing this. I'm 100% confident about it. As a basis guy, if you follow the exercises, it is more than sufficient for you during a conversion. Okay, you will be able to tackle it. But developers and functional guys are going to have a nightmare. Okay, that is the most thing. And a basis issue can be resolved. I mean, you bring it up or by apply workaround. But if a code itself is gone and functionality has gone spoiled, and you are getting ST22 dumps, what else you do? Nothing. So that is why number of customer and modified objects. And moreover, these customers, you take BP as an example, British Petroleum or Nestle, these guys do a lot of coding over the 20 years. They would have generated like G objects. And when I say coding, I mean, easy to understand Z objects. A lot of modified objects, they would have changed like anything hell. So if we go to the S4HANA, are they going to work? Who will evaluate that? Are they going to work? Or what will be? So this is one of the toughest complexity driver. That's why from top to bottom they have listed down. You see the triangle, reverse triangle in yellow shape. This is the top complexity driver. Okay. First, let's discuss about the left hand side, and then we'll come to the right hand side. This is also top to bottom, and then number and type of external interfaces. Okay. Yeah. This is the basis challenge. Okay. Basis challenge. But however, how do you know? I mean, your system, suppose you have an ERP system, how do you know Who all connecting to your system? Can anybody explain? Suppose in your ERP system, what all interfaces your system is communicating? How do you know that?
RFCs maybe first.
RFCs, yes, that's correct. So first you need to see the RFCs. I mean, how many RFC connections in the system and which all systems it is connecting to, or is the PA. And the most, even more painful thing is that, see, you don't have a visibility over PA, right? See, from your ERP system, you can see, okay, my ERP is talking to the PA system, but PA is talking to the third-party applications. PA is a mediator, right? From the third-party interfaces or the SAP interfaces to your ERP system. So process integration, SAP PA. So PA, then again there you have to assess, okay, how many communications are going there, which interfaces it is going, which region it is going, that you have to assess. So that is why it is the second most critical. Or manage file transfer, MFT, or if there are any applications connecting to .NET connector or ODBC, JDBC, right? So you have to see some directly connect to the database and try to fetch the data over there. So these are all interfaces you have to take it into consideration, because once you migrate, so we don't know what is the logic behind those interfaces, how they are fetching, whether they are reading or writing. So definitely that logic will change when you move to the when you convert it. Yeah, interface connectivity might work. I mean, because yeah, obviously IP also changes. I mean, server details and all will change. That is okay. I mean, you will, as a part of this, all RFC connections, you will ensure that they are working. You run some RFC test report, and then you see that if the connections checks are okay or not. That is fine. But whether they're getting the right data or the format has been not changed or not, that is the thing. So interfaces, number and type of external interfaces is the most important second complexity driver. Okay. Source release. So what is your, as I said, if you are in the ERP 6.0 EHP1, it is having a, that's why I put a slide on the basis version, component version. You need to have minimum basis version SAP 750. So first you take it to the EHP 5 or EHP 6, upgrade it, and then you do a conversion. Okay. Don't do directly from the EHP 1 or EHP 2 to SAP S4HANA conversion. It will make your life miserable. Okay. So that is the one thing. But generally, most of the customers will be minimum EHP 6 or EHP 7, because SAP always tells them to go with the latest ERP EHP versions. Okay. Definitely many of the customers would have done it. So I don't see a customer who is using very low version of this ERP, except, can you give me some example? Who are very reluctant to upgrade, or who are very reluctant to go to the latest versions? Which type of customers?
CFE team, Ravi Abira.
Banks, insurance.
Exactly. Banks, insurance, healthcare, they move. They have no problem. They are always ready to take the latest version. Banking, very tough to convince. Okay. Banking is, and the moment you say that you are touching something, then they will say, no, I don't care. Whatever I am happy. Let it run for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years also, I'm okay with that. Banking is very, very tough to convince. Okay. Because there, the data is the most critical part. I mean, your data and my data. So in this process, if something changes or something gone, then they will be very badly impacted, that bank, in their reputation impact and many things, you know. So that's why during the conversion also, they will insure their bank, some of them, you know, in crores, because in this conversion, if something happens, so then that kind of things also, the banking is very tough. So source release. So generally most of the customers will be on the latest version. So that's why it's a middle layer. Unicode conversion necessary. That's why it's least. Nobody, I don't think anyone is. So we will skip this topic also from our conversion thing. In my last 6-7 years, I have not seen anybody doing this Unicode conversion. In 2010 itself, all the customers would have been moved for this. And OSDB migration requirements. This anyway, it's like regular export and import activities we would have done many times. So that is why it is the minimum complexity driver. Now the another important thing, right side, you come to the right side. Number of business functions involved, used. So the left side, number of customer and modified objects is a development challenge. Okay. The right side, business functions, is functional challenge. Okay. So what are these business functions, and what is anybody knows what are these business functions? Anyone have a background of it? I have prepared a module. Okay. Don't worry about it. I will talk about in detail. So, but just to understand, do you know what these business functions? Have you tried activating them? SFW5. Have you used this transaction code SFW5? Generally, we don't do it in a regular basis. Yeah. Good.
No, don't remember.
Good. Yeah, I don't think you guys would have used it because it's a very only when the first time when you are building the system or when your customer is doing adapting ERP, that is the time they would have adapted it. But very less, very less frequently we activate them. But when you are doing the conversion, this will play a very crucial role. These business functions. Okay. So business functions, nothing but see ERP you are using for your healthcare. Okay, that has a different set of functional modules or functional. Suppose in ERP you need it for banking also. ERP you use healthcare, financial also. ERP you can use for oil and gas also, right? You would have heard ERP you can use for the automobile industry. Everywhere ERP is used. Okay. So what I am talking about this business functions is, for example, TCS is into the automobile. Let's talk about Tata Cars and all. They are using ERP. Why would they need the code line or the functions of then healthcare, right? ERP is a package. So they don't want this healthcare. They don't want financial. They don't want banking. Okay. So they will activate only the relevant business functions for them, automobile business functions. So healthcare guys will activate only their healthcare related. Okay, which means those tables, those structures only available. That is what the business function means. Okay. So when you try to convert to S4HANA, these will get messed up. Okay. The structures and these functions. That is why this is one of the toughest or the complex driver for your project. You need to have a functional and again developers over here, and the business also have to take key stakeholders, whoever your business users, right? Business responsibilities have to take some decisions over there. We will talk when the topic comes. That is a brief overview of this one. Okay. And then changes to the business functions during the project. I mean, whether you want to adapt the same what you had and you want to go with the new one. This is the decision has to be made. And then code freeze strategy. So this project goes for 6 months. I mean, how do you want to deal with your regular transports or the bug fixes? Okay, where do you want to freeze it? At what phase? Okay, that is an important thing. That also you need to consider. Testing requirements. How do you test it? So there's no way that you will test it as a production, right? You would have done in sandbox and development and test, but it doesn't help. You have to test actual production. I mean, how it behaves, right? But yeah, that is fine. I mean, we always have an option. You take a backup of the production and you build it to the sandbox system and then do it. Okay. So that is option but that's why it's a least complexity driver, but it is also a complexity driver. Required downtime. So I mean, some may give you the downtime, but for some systems it is very important based on their architecture, high availability and disaster recovery architectures. So how long they can give you to the downtime, and that is also a critical thing to consider before you are planning this upgrade. So these are the considerations and complexity drivers you need to consider when you plan an SAP S4HANA conversion project. Okay. So any questions guys over here? Good.
Nope.
So if no question, then I will proceed further. So yeah, the next question: when is the SAP business suite or ERP, maintenance will end? So as of now, it will end in 2027, and extended maintenance means grace period. They will give you 3 years, 2030. So by 2030, they are aiming to get rid of the existing ERP, and they want to have everyone on SAP S4HANA. So where we are now, 2021, 2021 is over, 2022. So another 5 years ERP. So I am damn sure that they are going to extend this to 2040. Okay, don't go with this slide. I mean, 2027 they will extend to 2040. So 2040 or 2050, SAP will never going to end this ERP, because I am 100% sure that there will be customers who still want to use ERP only. Okay, as I said, banking. So SAP has to, because why do you want to lose? They don't lose customers, right? Because they keep paying money. I mean, license fees every year. So SAP will extend it. It is just to gives an indication to the customers. I mean, to push as many customers as possible to SAP S4HANA. That is why they put these deadlines. But SAP will definitely extend this. Okay, don't go get into too much into this one. Okay, good. So SAP Innovation and Transformation newsletter registered now. So you can go to this particular page. I mean, I have given that link, and today morning when I executed, it says It doesn't exist. So if it's just that you can subscribe to it. I mean, they keep update. You don't want to do that also. Just don't do it, because you keep getting emails. These are the new innovations. It's a newsletter basically. Okay. If you're still interested, we can search and we can keep the link. And there is a page where you can, where they can talk about all these innovations and stuff. Okay. Good. Thank you.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.